Welcome to Elijah's Discussion Forum. So, the Muslims, they look to the Quran, they look to Mohammed, and we mentioned in previous videos that we did not believe that the Quran was a final message from God to man. We did not believe that Mohammed was indeed a true prophet of God. We do not believe he has any credentials whatsoever that back up the idea that he is God's messenger to mankind. And furthermore, his message is in many respects important, big respects, greatly different than the Jewish and Christian scriptures' message concerning the God of this universe. Now, it's not all bad, their Quran. I mean, there are things in it that are true in regards to life. I mean, in the very first section here, it talks about God being compassionate and merciful, giving all praise to God, and that he is the master of the day of judgment, and that they worship him alone. And they look to him for help and to be guided in the right way. And they don't want to be in the group of people who have earned God's wrath, but they want to be in the group of people who have earned his favor. So all of that is quite true. For anybody in God's family, we want to experience this God in this way. There's much truth in the first chapter or surah of the Quran. The problem is a lot of the other sections. I mean, for example, in chapter 2 or surah 2, it says, "This is the book in which there is no doubt." Well, I've read the whole book. I looked for credentials. I looked for reasons to believe it or not believe it. In the Jewish and Christian scriptures, there is all kinds of credentials and proof and evidence. I mean, historically and archaeologically, the Jewish and Christian scriptures stand up excellently, just very well in that respect. And it's a quite coherent message the Jewish and Christian scriptures have, and it makes sense, very much sense, and it pictures a God who is so powerful and loving and who is willing to get down in amongst his people and relate to them. And the Jewish and Christian scriptures have prophetic proof that I've never seen in any other religious system. Predictions about world events, about Tyre, about Babylon, about Assyria, about the Roman Empire, about Alexander the Great and the Greek Empire, and then many predictions also about the end of the world, World War II. And this situation in these last 20-30 years, there are just many predictions in the Bible about how it would be in these days, these last days. And they're happening right now. Much of it's happened already, and some is happening right now, and there's some yet to happen, but you could see it around the corner. But when I look at the Quran, I don't see any, virtually none, as far as prophetic proof. I don't really see a very coherent message. And it seems to say the same stuff, the same things over and over and over again. You know, you could actually probably cut out at least half of it and still get pretty much the complete message. And when I look at the laws and the civil laws and criminal laws in the Jewish scriptures and the principles for good societal living in the New Testament, it is just outstanding overall. But when I look at the civil and criminal laws in the Quran, it's just so substandard, in my view. Very, you might say, limp-wristed. The stories are not, they just are quite weak, light. as far as revelation and ring of truth and so on, the stories in the Quran. But in the Bible, the stories are just incredible. They're strong in revelation, in teaching the principles of good living, of relating to God and your fellow man. The stories just seem to have the ring of truth, even the far out ones.